The Africa Tech Challenge Season 5 is going to be launching today, and the chief guest is going to be the PS Ministry of Education, Dr. Kevin Desai, among other AVIC representatives. Let's listen in.
I have had the great pleasure of engaging with the young people from all over the country and across Africa. I have seen young Africans advance their skills and take their careers to the next level. So I'm thrilled to see that the dream we had as AVIC International is now a fulfilled vision for many. It has always been our agenda to empower the youth through skills development. And this year, we embark onto a new season with the theme to empower the youth with practical skills. Ladies and gentlemen, in the past seasons, we have been able to award outstanding participants with full master's degree scholarships to some of the prestigious engineering schools in China. Today, we are joined by Paul Warutere, who is an ATC Season 1 beneficiary and has completed his master's degree and come back to Kenya just a month ago. We are also joined by Charity Ojwang, who will be proceeding to China in September. Truly, ATC has changed the lives of many young people. In the past season, we have also been able to venture deeper in skills development by engaging other African countries in the challenge. In Season 3, we were able to engage Zambia, Uganda, and Ghana. And now in Season 5, we have added Cote d'Ivoire and Gabon to the challenge. And we have the representatives from the various countries here today. Ladies and gentlemen, this year, we don't do it any differently. AVIC International and Africa Tech Challenge is committed to empower the young participants by providing technical training in CNC lathe machining techniques and mechatronics engineering. The three most outstanding participants will be awarded with scholarships to go and study in China so as to specialize in their skills and gain more knowledge and technical expertise. As we look ahead into the next century, leaders will be those who empower others. We are committed to working with the youth and imparting skills as we set them up to empower others too. As AVIC International, our intention is to see immense participation and the zeal from the youth across Kenya and Africa alike. Apart from the Big Four agenda, we still have Vision 2030 goal, which is our national development blueprint. AVIC International, through its maiden project, TVET, is geared to transform this nation into an industrializing economy by working closely with the youth and key opinion formers. The problem of the youth and having skills that are not consummate to the labor market is not unique to Kenya. African nations alike right now want to empower their youth with practical skills that will meet the requirements of the labor market. So ATC provides a platform to all African states to empower their youth with those practical skills so that they can pioneer industrialization in their different nations. A special thank you goes to the Ministry of Education, who have been our partners since the year 2014 as we work to make ATC bigger and better. Another thank you and a special thank you goes to the media, who have been instrumental in spreading the message of skills development and encouraging more youth to consider opportunities in the blue-collar job market. It is important to showcase the opportunities available so that more young people can broaden their visions while seeking training and employment opportunities. Finally, I would like to thank the youth that we have worked with and interact with on a daily basis through our various platforms. From them, we are able to gather feedback on issues affecting them and incorporate these issues in formulation of the Seasons of Africa Tech Challenge. With those few remarks, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to encourage more companies and the private sector to take an active role to drive youth empowerment through skills development and working with the government to achieve the Big Four agenda. There is a part to be played by us all, and we look forward to a bigger and better ATC Season 5.
AVIC International Holding Corporation is a global diversified holding business group, and our mission of going beyond commerce for a better world guides all the projects that we are undertaking. Our partnership with the Ministry of Education has allowed us the privilege of equipping technical training institutions as training of the trainers. It also enables us to successfully carry out ATC and training the youth in the past seasons, which is in line with the government's plan to empower the youth, to empower the technical institutions and increase access to TVET. Through improving the technical institution, we have been upgrading the practical skills of students pursuing technical courses in Kenya to meet the needs of the country in its growth and industrialization. Kenya and Africa as a whole presents a very great opportunity for us to explore the potential of the youth, and we're always happy to be part of this journey. Under the Big Four agenda, manufacturing sector plays a vital role in making it a reality through bringing to fruition the goals of the manufacturing pillar. We believe that through technical training and capacity building, especially with emphasis on disciplines like mechatronic and mechanical technology, as per our focus on this season, is a great step in the right direction. As you can see, we not only believe and understand the power of the youth to drive the industrialization of Africa, we work to ensure that they're well-trained and equipped with the necessary skills to do so. Ladies and gentlemen, as a company, we believe that youth empowerment, self-employment, and capacity building is the key in ensuring all the above are accomplished. Africa Tech Challenge as a project under TVET has seen us nurture great talents in this country and across the continent. As you may be aware, we have had 4 successful seasons of Africa Tech Challenge, with each season opening up more opportunities for more young people to develop their skills. Our 3rd season was regional and included participants from technical-based institutions and universities from Uganda, Zambia, and Ghana. This truly made it an Africa Tech Challenge. We embark on this year having 4 other countries join us, namely Zambia, Ghana, Cote d'Ivoire, and Gabon. AVIC International is currently in the process of constructing our AVIC African headquarters in Nairobi. We are very excited about this. This is not only a show of our commitment to Kenya, but our faith in the country's economy and our promise of going beyond commerce for a better world. Honored guests, we pledged to continue working with the government to identify opportunities for working with the youth and advancing their skills. We look forward to partner with the government and contributing to achievement of His Excellency's Big Four agenda, especially as regards the manufacturing sector, and continue to work towards achieving Kenya's Vision 2030. We are grateful that the government is key on supporting the private sector's efforts in fueling the entrepreneurial spirit and youth empowerment in Kenya. And finally, ladies and gentlemen, it is our hope that this new season, Africa Tech Challenge Season 5, will uniquely create opportunity for our youth to portray their skills by generating practical solutions for a better Kenya.
We are embarking on a journey with partners like AVIC International to make TVET fit for purpose. And being fit for purpose means many things. It means that we're able to promote our national agenda as far as how we're able to build capacities in technical vocational education training institutions to have clear outcomes of promoting self-employment and gainful employment amongst our youth. You'll all agree with me as TVET champions that it's technical vocational education training centers that have the greatest impact and the possibility and potential for the greatest impact as far as the basis of promoting new enterprises, and also through the excitement of the kind of competencies that you gain, a young person is able to find many different pathways and very many exciting pathways into the world of work through the acquisition of competencies and the ability to play a significant role in all the different sectors. And that's what makes TVET extremely exciting and liberating. It promotes the flexibility in a person who has the imagination, has tremendous hands-on skills, is gifted in many ways to pursue a career in technical vocational education and training. And today, the government of Kenya embarks on a very extensive and highly collaborative agenda to look into all our institutions. We have over 1,000 institutions, but we're focusing on a three-point agenda of promoting quality assurance, establishing ways in which we're able to improve the level and quality of the training that's transferred to young people through structures that look into the welfare of our trainers, as well as build further capacities of our trainers, ensure that institutions have the right infrastructure and equipment in order to be truly relevant, almost a mirror image of how the world of work is. And that's why it's significant that our partnership with AVIC, and AVIC International essentially started off as an institution that built aircrafts and then had an inseparable relationship with technical vocational education training institutions in realization that the bedrock and foundation of their development depended on TVET. And so, similarly, today, when they partner with us within our context, it's that very advanced capacity that they have in building aircrafts that ensures the relevance and quality of what we are doing as far as training and the development of our infrastructure is concerned. And I think that this is quite a distinction to be able to have this capacity and this linkage to transfer the highest level of technology transfer, but to ensure that it's extremely relevant and quality orientated. As a country, we're embarking on creating centers of excellence around the Big Four initiative. The Big Four, ladies and gentlemen, is a tremendous opportunity for all of us to focus around and to build the necessary capacities so that we're able to raise the prosperity and the competitiveness of this country and our neighbors. And while focusing on manufacturing, agriculture, healthcare, and housing and cities, what cuts across is the role of TVET, and TVET plays an extensive role in promoting the necessary competencies, talents, innovation, research into the realization and sustainability and transformation of the Big Four agenda. We value plumbers, we value technicians, we value carpenters, we value masons, we value all the skills that are absolutely necessary in the construct of the Big Four, including nursing and so on. These are all competencies, these are skills, and they all are the responsibility of a very good and strong TVET infrastructure. So it's through these centers of excellence we imagine not only promoting the traditional training for young people and the competencies to achieve self-employment and gainful employment, but most importantly to look at the entire value chain of competencies, starting from artisan, craftsman, master craftsman, technician, and technologists, through our network of polytechnics, technical vocational training centers, and youth polytechnics. And it's through this collaborative cluster that we hope to engage the productive sector and international organizations like AVIC to bring the necessary capacity and competency to have very clear outcomes of new businesses, ability to create the extended workforce that promotes the level and quality and the standards of the development of the Big Four, and most importantly, the necessary innovation to further transform the national agenda as far as its development. The second point agenda is to focus on the primary linkages between the productive sector and TVET institutions. Our linkages with the micro, small, medium enterprise sector in particular would benefit, and this would then enable us to joint venture with possibly other companies too, and it could be from China. And so this platform that we jointly create within the Ministry of Education, with our TVET sector, with our partners like AVIC, the partners of the different ministries and so on, then extends its capacity in order to accommodate and to create ways in which we're able to be inclusive to all stakeholders. The final part of our agenda is to focus more on innovations and to recognize innovations. And that is why, yet another reason such initiatives are important, because it's through these competitions that we're able to identify innovative ways in transferring knowledge and hands-on practical skills. And it's through competitions that these innovations need to be picked up at a national level, so that the entire fabric of TVET fraternity can adopt new techniques in training and transfer of skills, and also being able to realize the latest transformations in a particular sector like mechatronics or lathe machine skills. How are these skills being transformed? What sort of other technologies, which are supplementary and complementary, are integrated? And it's through these competitions that we create a very focused capacity to create world-class lathe machinists or world-class mechatronics technicians. And such is the importance, ladies and gentlemen, that we cannot ignore. And we need to find ways in which we can increasingly get involved and scale this to the level that is required, so that it's as inclusive as possible to all stakeholders. Within TVET's context, the Africa Tech Challenge plays an important role. It's an important role not only from the role of AVIC hosting it, but increasingly our role as stakeholders on how we're able to be involved and realize its full potential. It is, after all, a platform, and a platform that is inclusive to the media, to stakeholders like the private sector, the civil society, the academics, the TVET institutions, the various ministries of government. It's an open platform in order to promote the highest level of competition, to encourage and recognize greatness in skill. The greatness of a young mechatronics technician being able to achieve things in a given time that yields productivity, efficiency, and innovation. And it's to recognize talent too, great talent. Talent amongst technicians, amongst craftsmen, amongst artisans. Very important, ladies and gentlemen, very important for the development of this country, that while we seek to demand high quality skills, that we also participate in encouraging great skills and recognizing them. The development of competency-based education and training is in a high status now, with all the agencies like CDAC, TVET, the Kenya National Qualifications Authority, all in place. And these will further strengthen the outcomes of such challenges, because they will be able to ensure that the latest techniques and possibilities are included in curriculum and the occupational standards and in the work integrated learning environment. This would then ensure the sustainability and the transformation of the entire TVET sector. Ladies and gentlemen, your role is significant here. We're at a time in this nation where we need to pay homage to technical vocational education training. As a nation, we need to promote a culture of appreciating, recognizing, and empowering competencies and skills. And all of you play a significant role. You can play a role in terms of the recognition, the aspects of ensuring that some of these young people with these requisite skills are really provided relevant work challenges that they're able to exceed, and thereby addressing your needs in terms of productivity, innovation, efficiency, but most importantly, showing value to this purpose, promoting the necessary hope within our youth through showing these networks and showing opportunity to a great mechatronics technician or a lathe technician, to create that opportunity equivalent to their greatness and their talent and their ability to provide solutions. The defined purpose, the acceptance by the productive sector, the ability to see how purpose is inculcated and provided to a young person so that they're able to understand, the relevance of what they're learning. And so much has to be done. And I'm very pleased that, we're celebrated and I'm surrounded by so many TVET champions today. And really, ladies and gentlemen, we need to all work together to ensure that technical vocational education training is application-oriented training. And we apply to our challenges of social, economic, and environmental issues. It's all about application, innovation, research, science, technology, competencies, attitudinal skills, life skills, and value skills. So join me in this tremendous journey, and I'd like to close by thanking AVIC International for their support. We look forward to this partnership, and increasingly we look forward to expanding it to the other stakeholders within this country and having more involvement by key stakeholders. Thank you very much.
What is the role of these competitions in sort of driving the growth in human capital in Kenya? Is there long-term plans for sustainability from the ministry side? Because as we know, the private sector must pull in, but the government must also take a significant part of the activity. So in terms of improving the sustainability of training of Kenyans to meet the demands of our manufacturing sector, and specifically which subsectors of manufacturing do you think of these are most likely to link?
This question is extremely important because, why are we doing this? Why are we having this massive international competition? And why have we been doing it for the last 5 years? It's a competition that promotes the highest level of competencies and skills. The ability to innovate is dependent on skills. The more advanced skills you have, the more you're able to not only meet requirements of productivity and efficiency, but most importantly, the basis for innovation is the promotion of skills. So having had that capacity and ensuring that we're able to celebrate it nationally and really bring attention to it, thereby promoting a movement of young people aspiring to acquiring great skills, and skills that are able to then inform innovation, and those innovations are able to enhance productivity. There's a direct fit in what we're trying to do as far as Big Four. Big Four is all about competitiveness, it's about sustainability, it's about transformation. The areas that we're focusing on, manufacturing, agriculture, health provision, they're all dependent on skills, and professional skills that not only ensure that we're able to sustain our operations and our development, but make us truly internationally competitive. And so these skills have to be related to international competition and occupational standards that have a link. And it's through these efforts that such skills and such competencies and such competitions that, for example, focus on mechatronics and lathe machines, they cut across the entire Big Four. They're the foundation. You find lathe skills required in agricultural value addition, where as you promote greater value addition to agricultural produce, you need structures that promote mechatronics, automation systems that are able to produce produce, that are able to ensure that we're able to diversify the outcomes of a particular a natural resource like a vegetable or a fruit, and create many, many different kinds of products. And it's through specifically technologies like this, like lathe manufacturing as well as mechatronics, that we're able to fit into that stream. It's through such initiatives that we're able to produce better housing, better cities, better structures. All are dependent on mechatronic skills, lathe skills, and so on. The area of manufacturing, this cuts across the entire manufacturing spectrum, whether it's mining or processing, an area of agriculture, the ability to promote areas that focus on automotive manufacturing and so on are all dependent on these particular skills. And likewise, healthcare. When you're looking at aspects of building a hospital, or remote nurse assistance programs and so on, they're once again dependent on technical skills and technical competence and repairs. So that's a close and intimate connection to the extent that they're inseparable, that TVET is the basis for the Big Four. And that is why we have prioritized it as a nation, and it's the reason why we're investing so much in, as the government of Kenya, in building more institutions. In this financial year, we're going to build another 15 institutions throughout this country. It's also one of the key reasons why we want to ensure that these institutions are placed throughout this country and in each county, for the simple reason that they need to be accessible to all. They need to be accessible to youth, to disadvantaged youth, they need to be accessible to vulnerable youth, they need to be accessible to women, to widows, and to be as inclusive as possible so that we're able to create this necessary structure into the mainstream of opportunity. We're investing in equipment, and we're also investing in train-the-trainer programs. And all of this is consolidated to such initiatives where we're galvanizing interest, we're setting competitions like this that help us realize what is the international benchmark in outcomes of skills and competencies. How are we able to, as a country, galvanize all support and structures in order to meet the mandate of manufacturing and the Big Four and the economies that surround the Big Four.
Now that we're encouraging our youth to get involved in the practical skills, I would like to know what's the government doing in order to ensure that graduates from universities, from college, once they've graduated, they are prepared to get settled or even to find some of these courses in order to curb the unemployment, problems.
What we are doing as government is introducing competency-based education and training. It's one of the most modern approaches towards training. It's also practiced in China and Singapore and various other countries that are at the height of economic and social development. And it presupposes a direct involvement of the productive sector into the academic and training sector. Within the area of competency-based education and training, the government is involving the productive sector at a very early age in developing the technical needs analysis of a particular sector, establishing occupational standards that are linked to international standards, building onto curriculum, work-integrated learning standards, assessment standards, and it's this relationship between the productive sector and the TVET sector and its specific areas of curriculum and occupational standards that then informs training. And training increasingly will be a joint effort between the productive sector where we will encourage work-integrated learning training, where young people can be part-trained within industry and encouraged to be trained there. We'll have apprenticeship programs which encourage direct application of what they've been trained, and so on. And it's these innovative ways that we're now introducing within the context of civic reform that builds further linkages to ensure that young people are fit and ready for enhancing and being better prepared to yield productivity, innovation, and efficiency results within the work sector. But what we are also supporting and encouraging is that our training institutions promote graduates that can promote self-employment, that are self-employed and that are able to create their own enterprises or one-man bands. And that is why the efforts that we're putting in TVET are so extensive. They not only cover training, but they cover and encompass initiatives towards promoting science, technology and innovation, entrepreneurship, training, being able to have a TVET institution almost as a community initiative where it has interlinkages with civil society, with the social sectors, the productive sector and the county government. So what we're looking at is a platform, an initiative that promotes a platform, that creates the interrelations and commitments from all stakeholders in order to give the best possible guarantee of an opportunity or a prospect for a young person. Further to that, we launched the first National Assessment Centre in Rift Valley Technical Training Institute in Eldoret, and this assessment centre is focusing on automotive technology, and how the assessing is in a very modern and well-equipped workshop and training centre. Industry is assessing students side by side, the academics, in order to verify their competencies, their productivity capabilities, their skills, and this then qualifies for a certification. So it's this joint examination or joint assessment that will also instill the highest level of credibility in the system and give the best possible chance for a young person to be fully integrated into the work environment. So these are some of the efforts. We look forward to looking for more efforts, and this is precisely why we're having these competitions. Ladies and gentlemen, if I can sort of recount where my background was, I studied in Japan, I studied robotics, and there was a similar event that occurred and used to occur on a yearly basis. It was a robotics competition. That led to all the stakeholders within the robotic industry to be part of that, and that led to both stakeholders of government, private sector, academia, and that led to Japan being one of the global centers of excellence in robotics technology. And so it's through such movements that we have the greatest hope in trying to see how we can bring all stakeholders together and really address all aspects and challenges and issues that may be a hindrance to our development. But it's a collective effort, and so is CIVIT. It's all about collective participation and involvement.
From my understanding is that the youth factor is an issue of national interest. It cuts across both levels of government, both counties and national government. Now, when you look at what this particular aspect is trying to focus on is mainly at the national level. Now, vocational training, from my understanding, is an issue that has been devolved to the county government. Now, I would want to get your perspective in terms of how the ministry, for instance, or the State Department is trying to collaborate with county governments to ensure that this challenge, or rather this initiative, is cascaded down to county governments. And number two, you mentioned about issue of skills transfer. Now, I know not everybody else is able to go to China with regards to this challenge. How do we ensure that those people who are able to make it, or rather go to China, come back and be absorbed within the local sector that we have, especially in the vocational trainings that we have? Because there's an issue that you mentioned about it was skills transfer, but at the same time, you mentioned about trainers of training of trainers. Now, I wanted to ask you, when these people come, how do we make sure that the curriculum that is at the local level, within the vocational training centers that we have, is almost seamlessly, or can be seamlessly integrated with whatever these people learn from outside, so that they don't come here and become idle youth? Because the biggest problem would be somebody studying in China for 5 to 6 years, then you come back here, you find that the job market is not able to absorb you. Now, so how are we going to ensure that these few people that we take to China are able to be integrated into the local community, not only to be able to come up with the employment opportunities for themselves, but to be able to be integrated? And then, of course, I've mentioned the issue of curriculum, to make sure that perhaps we see the synergy between what they learn there and what is offered at the local level, and also to be spread out within the vocational training centers that we have. But I'm very humble to have heard that you mentioned that this is an issue to do with innovation, but I would also persuade you to ensure that you work with counties closely, because if you leave it at the national level, and of course when you look at the big four, these are functions that have been fully devolved to the counties. Now, how do we make sure that we integrate with the county governments as a whole? And of course, now the people that are coming back from China, how do we make sure that we can also map them out within the respective county governments? How do we know that maybe 4 of them came from Kiambu County, maybe other came from Baringo County, so that these people, they're able to start investments within the local community that they come from, or provide for those set up something from the local community.
Let me first of all start with this issue of competition. The competition that is going on. I would like to inform people here that we already have competition taking place at Kenya Technical Trainers College in mechatronics and also at Duke University. And this aspect of competition is very key when we look at our trainees, because there's that aspect of reinforcement and reward, and the aspect of working together to fulfill a certain goal. So, and this is what we really look at when we think about work ethics, because you cannot work alone. You have to work together to achieve a certain goal. Apart from that, I would like to emphasize that when it comes to integrating or the competition with the AVIC International, it is important. We are not just looking at the standards here in this country, but we are thinking about regional standards and even international standards. So this will make our youth marketable, not only in Kenya, in Africa, but in the international world as a whole. As far as making sure that we involve the counties, you find that the competition involves quite a number of people. And if I can talk about the Kenya Technical Trainees, they are the key people who will cascade whatever is going on to these counties, because they are the key people who are employed in TVET institution, in vocational centers, and this will help us cascade all over in Kenya.
Our youth, that they are able to produce and produce beyond Kenya, but then they can also so that they can produce for the industry in Kenya. And most of them generally end up with employment opportunities, almost straightforward. I mean, straight away from that training. So that is an element that probably you need to know. So the only issue we are talking about maybe skills transfer and so forth. But we have also skills that not only the technical skills. There is also the work ethics and attitudes. And the Chinese has it better than ourselves. And we are able therefore to learn from it. Sometimes it is true that the skills that the training in those skills is not available here. The Kenya Polytechnic, which is now TUK, has been doing that one for over 60 years. But then the work ethic is a big problem that we have had. And that is something that we are also learning from this. Now, generally, I think for him, the participants are selected on the basis of performance in previous contests and so forth. And even in this contest, they are selected. So it is not, therefore, possible to do it on the county basis, maybe as you are thinking about. The institutions, are, of course, are given opportunities, but the performance is individual. So because the performance is individual, they can only be able to be encouraged to perform. Now, the Technical University has been the center of this since the beginning. The Technical University got the support from the government through AVIC and got almost every facility that is required for training in all the various areas. And we have been coordinating and supporting this training, and we shall continue to do so. And we think that the impact is going to be quite great. Now that you have gone across Africa, and I think the whole thing will cascade to the other levels. I think we have been dealing with universities and maybe technical polytechnics and basically the vocational training centers. But I think we may have to consider going down to the vocational training, what we used to call youth polytechnics. These youth polytechnics that are handled by the counties.
Through ATC, actually, I've been in a position to learn several aspects. What Africa Tech Challenge does is train the students on different manufacturing processes. For instance, during my training in 2014, what the Chinese experts did for us was to train us in different manufacturing elements, and then we do a competition. After you do, let me say, a test, sort of a test. After the test, then they get the winners from the competition. And after the awarding ceremony, I was awarded a scholarship to study in China. But at the moment, in 2014, I couldn't go for my master's because I was still doing my degree in mechanical engineering. But they gave me the allowance time to finish my degree first for the 4 years that were remaining and pursue my master's later. So at the moment, I'm waiting to pursue my master's in mechanical automation and manufacturing this September, the coming September. And I'm very excited about it, and I'm sure this is going to impact me in a good way, because I've really been looking forward to such an opportunity now that it's time for me to actually pursue the dream that I've been looking forward to. It's a very good opportunity for me, and I think it's going to impact me in a good way.
After that season 1, I got a scholarship through AVIC International to go in China, and I went there. I did my master's in mechanical engineering, and I've just came back here in Kenya just the other day. Now I'm ready to get back into the engineering field.